A fact is a statement that can be proven true or false. An opinion is an expression of a person's feelings that cannot be proven. Opinions can be based on facts or emotions, and sometimes they are meant to deliberately mislead others. Therefore, it is important to be aware of the author's purpose and choice of language. This is the one thing that I've always tried to express on this channel and every other channel that I've ever been a part of, any community type of video that I've been a part of, podcast, the whole nine yards. We have a lot of people here on YouTube that try to mislead others into believing things that aren't true. They like to go ahead and go against literally hundreds of years of research, regardless of its biology, if it goes into history, like going into the tales of religion and where those stories come from. You have people that want to mislead people in gaming here all the time with their opinions because they feel like what they are saying is validated because they have a think tank that's surrounding them, like their own personal echo chamber that continuously allows them to believe what they're saying is real instead of actually challenging what it is that they're saying. And I think that's actually very unhealthy. You look at the situation here on YouTube or any portion of social media in a general sense, regardless if it's gaming, religion, history, anything that involves any sort of critical thinking, especially when you're talking about the politics of these topics or even the philosophy parts of these topics, and you see that people are so willing to manipulate the very things that are being recorded in history. And that's where I've always found religion to be pretty entertaining because a lot of these situations are very reflective of that. You see a lot of things in religion in a general sense. I'm not talking about any one religion, but religion in a general sense has the same exact effect on people regardless of what the religion is. And it's always been interesting to me to see the same sort of trait go down in history regardless of whatever topic it is, like I mentioned with gaming and social media. It does the same exact thing. Anything that can bring someone together or anything that can bring people together, it sort of carries on with this same exact situation where people will huddle together, become their own echo chambers, and make sure that nobody from the outside can come in and disagree with them. So I see a lot of situations take place here on YouTube, whether you're doing a response video to someone, say, like Riley, or you're doing a video response to, say, like Sargon of Akkad or Fringy. And I noticed a few things. People don't want to respond with facts. They always want to respond from their feelings. They want to respond with opinions only because they feel that their opinions are validated by those who surround them. And I always found that kind of weird. And this is why it's always important to me when you're debating somebody. And like I've stated many times before, it's important when you're debating someone that you're using facts. You're not using your own personal feelings. You're not using your own personal opinion. Your opinion can be correct as long as you have the facts to back it up. And that is what's really important here. You see this dynamic here on YouTube where people just keep going at each other for stupid things like gaming. And even some of it with religion and politics, and it's just I'm just wondering, like, why can't you guys just bring up facts in the middle of all this and just clear up the argument straight on the very beginning, instead of turning it into a giant shit show with personal feelings and opinions involved? And I don't understand why it's so hard for people to grasp that. I've never truly grasped that idea that personal opinions should trump facts almost every time. And it's something that continues to go on here, even to today's standards, on the political ground and our media, and our mainstream media. You look at the way the news broadcasts actually call themselves investigative journalists, when all they actually do is they go to the site, they see something, and they report on it. They don't actually try to get the facts. They don't try to actually ask questions. They just see something and they report on what they see. It's not really anything investigative about that. You are literally showing up, you're seeing something unfold, and if it's already unfolded, you're already drawing your own conclusions in the middle of reporting the story without actually presenting facts. And that's something that happened a lot during our election cycle. A lot of people get wrapped up in the opinions and the personal feelings before they do the facts, and that's where like 90% of our issues come from when it comes to anything that can bring us together. It can be the same thing that divides us, because we really want to just hang on to the opinion and the feels before we actually hang on to the facts. So anything that you say against that person's opinion, even though if it's fact, you're going to be wrong to them because they cannot accept your facts versus their opinions, because they don't want to be wrong. They're afraid of being wrong. Nobody likes to admit when they're actually incorrect. They don't like to say, hey, you know what? I'm wrong. I did this. I did that. It was kind of stupid. My bad. Nobody knows how to do that anymore. Nobody knows how to take a bite of humble pie and just say, hey, I'm wrong. Instead, we're going to go ahead and continuously do video after video, or we're going to go ahead and do false allegations after false allegations over the news. And we're going to allow the opinions of people that are trying to push their own personal agendas down other people's throats through a passive terms, like social media or the news, or even religion for this matter. And we're not going to allow people to experience the facts or to see the facts, because it's going to be so convoluted by the time the facts come out that the facts aren't even going to matter. And you see this all the time with politics, where the facts will come to the forefront, but by the time it gets there, you have about 30,000 different headers who are doing the same exact story, spun 30,000 different ways. And they all get about the same amount of views due to the Facebook algorithm and the YouTube algorithm. People are just so tuned to relating to a story rather than understanding the story for the facts in which it's supposed to be reported in. And this is why it's always important to use facts versus opinion. I don't understand how hard that is. And yes, facts can back opinions as long as they're facts. They're not anything that's fabricated, or they've turned into a ginormous inflated situation than what the original fact was. And a lot of people do this. They like to inflate the situation and make it 10 times worse because it gets the clicks. And that's what sells to the marketing and ad companies. So at the end of the day, when I tell people, when it comes to report the facts, or when you're debating somebody, it's important that you don't use your own personal opinion. This is why I say that, because to me, and I've told this to my fellow cast members and a few of my friends that I've debated with in the past, that wordplay is extremely important, and the type of message that you want to display in the middle of a debate is extremely important as well. It's also going to be the very defining factor that actually makes that debate watchable in a lot of people's eyes. Can people relate with you? Can they find you personable? Do they actually find you charismatic enough and knowledgeable enough about the topic that you're debating on? These are really important things, and a lot of people take those small details and they like to throw it out the window because they feel that too many facts or too much of a fact is going to be something that can actually make the whole entire situation disingenuous to the debate in the first place, when in fact, it is a fact. So, I hope this actually clears up any of the debating situations that I've covered in the past, as far as, the whole Fringy thing, or any of these other people that have had issues with their debates where, we like to do circular logic to avoid fact, or what we'll do is we'll circulate the facts so much to where they're inflated, just in the same version as an opinion, which could be over-exaggerated and overstepping. So I hope this video was somewhat entertaining. I wasn't really having a good idea for a video tonight, so I was like, you know what, let's talk about something different. I'm usually pretty philosophical. Sometimes I do a little bit of a logical piece here and there, or I'll do something that's common sense. But I felt the debating topics are usually pretty fun because there are yet enough people here on YouTube that know how to debate properly.